Hey, have you ever felt just a little lost? Like you're treading water, just trying to keep your head up? If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're going to dive into this really powerful blueprint for not just finding yourself, but actually building your identity, especially with all the noise in the world today. So let's get to it.
I mean, these are the big ones, right? Who am I? Where am I going? And that nagging feeling, do they even see me? For so many of us, especially in this hyper-connected, always-on world, these aren't just questions you ponder in a quiet moment. No, they can feel like a desperate cry for some kind of clarity, you know? They hit you right where you live.
And when you don't have those answers, it leads to this feeling of just struggling to survive. It's really important to know this isn't some personal failing on your part, it's just a symptom of being disoriented. It's that exhausting feeling of being super busy, always in motion, but not actually getting anywhere.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. If you don't know where you are, you can't go nowhere with result. I mean, think about it. It's so simple, but so true. You just can't navigate to a new destination if you don't know your starting point. It's a basic law of navigation, not just for a car, but for life.
A great way to think about it is like this. It feels like your internal GPS has some kind of existential error message flashing. You know? Cannot find current location. And if it can't find where you are, it doesn't matter how amazing the destination is, it simply can't calculate a route to get you there. That stuck feeling, that's just your internal GPS trying to get a signal.
So, how in the world do we fix that GPS error? Well, it all starts with this massive mindset shift. It's about stopping, looking around, and realizing you're not a lost tourist waiting for someone to give you directions. No, you are the architect.
For what feels like forever, we've been told this story, right? That you have to go out and find yourself. As if your identity is some kind of hidden treasure buried on a remote island. It's a really passive way of looking at things, and it puts all the power somewhere out there, completely outside of you.
But here's the new reality, the game changer. It's not about finding, you have to build yourself. See, identity isn't some object you discover, it's a structure you design. It's something you create. And the best part, you already have all the tools and the blueprints you need to start.
So, this is your new job title, the architect. And what does an architect do? They don't just wander around hoping to stumble upon a perfect house. No way. They consciously design and construct their reality. They're not searching, they're building. It's an active, powerful, and totally creative role.
Okay, so you're the architect. Awesome. But where do you even begin? Well, any good construction project starts with surveying the land. You have to map your current reality. This is all about figuring out your exact starting coordinates, and this is key, doing it without any judgment.
The very first thing to do is get everything out of your head and onto a piece of paper. Your brain is fantastic for creating ideas, but it's a terrible storage unit for chaos. So you start a mind map with one thing in the middle, me now. We got to get the mess out so we can actually look at it clearly.
And from that me now dot, you start drawing branches. You break your life down into cold, hard data points. What's your physical situation really? Your mental state? How are your finances, down to the dollar? Your relationships? The roles you're currently playing? You have to be brutally honest here. This isn't about what you wish was true, it's about what is true right now.
And this is maybe the most important part of this whole first step. A map doesn't judge you. It doesn't get angry or disappointed. It just shows the terrain. It shows the coordinates. By getting it all down on paper, you stop being the chaos, and you become the observer of the data. You become an analyst of your own life. All right, so you've got your map. You know exactly where you're standing. Now comes the fun part. The architect gets to design the new structure. This is where you get to consciously, intentionally choose who you want to become.
So often we're just running on autopilot, you know? We're playing these old roles we picked up somewhere, like the pleaser or the worrier. This step is all about trading those old, draining patterns for new, empowering identities. So instead of just being a striver, you decide, no, I am a learner. You're not the worrier anymore. You become the architect of my experience. You're choosing a new operating system.
So how do you decide what to keep and what to toss? For every single one of those old roles you wrote down on your map, you ask this one powerful question. Is this actually mine, or was this just taught to me? Is this a core part of me, or is it just a piece of software someone else installed a long time ago? This is how you start to declutter your own mind.
Look, a beautiful blueprint is totally useless if it just sits on a desk. So now we get to the final step, where the rubber really meets the road. You have to build with action. An identity is just a nice idea without proof, and that proof comes from what you actually do.
So how do we start building without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, there's this simple but amazing tool called the 3-second rule. See, that feeling of being overwhelmed comes from staring at the whole giant mountain you have to climb. The 3-second rule tells you to forget the summit. Just look down at your feet and take the very next step, right now.
And what does that look like? It looks like something incredibly small. It's a tiny atomic action. You don't need to change your entire life today. Just do one small thing in the next 3 seconds that proves your new identity is real. If you've decided you're the creator, literally just grab a pen. That's it. That one tiny action sends a powerful signal to your brain that says, see, this is who we are now.
And here's the beautiful secret to all of this. You don't need the whole path to be lit up in front of you. You just have to take that first step. Movement itself creates the momentum. That first tiny action makes the next one a little easier, and then the next, and before you know it, you're building the path forward simply by walking on it.
So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. You are never truly lost. You are simply in the design phase. That feeling of being stuck or uncertain, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's the feeling of you, the architect, surveying the land and drawing up the plans for the incredible thing you are about to build. So the question isn't, who am I anymore? The real question is, what will I create today?